It's nice to see you.
Hi. Okay, so we're joined by Priyanka Yadav. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, Shota. It's nice to see you all.
Likewise. And please tell us about yourself.
Cool. So, my first name is Priyanka, last name Yadav. I go by Pri now. And I'm an artist, I'm a coach. Currently, I'm enrolled as a psychology student in a PhD program for clinical psych. I've also worked in the corporate for the last 15 years for companies like OpenAI and Meta. I came to the US in 2003. My dad is a retired colonel, mom is an art teacher. That's how I got into art. And around COVID, I started coaching more professionally, and I realized people were looking for sometimes meaning and purpose and not just another job. And that's where my inquiry started, and I shifted. I quit my job at Meta last year, volunteered in hospice for a whole year, applied to clinical psych programs, and starting a PhD this September. Also started sharing my art more intentionally, and yeah, I'm also a parent. My daughter goes to UCLA, and a dog
Oh.
mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the clients, like, what are the most current challenges that your clients are facing?
I think in coaching, the most challenges I see is people are looking for maybe a shift, like a job at a fan company or a bigger salary. But when dug deeper, they're looking for more meaning and purpose and fulfillment. And sometimes more is not the end all. Like people presence productivity, especially in the Bay Area, over presence, and it's hard to slow down. Like I feel like a lot of us run on anxiety, and like anxiety is like a fuel. And in
Mhm.
my own experience, I feel like sometimes people are looking for an identity shift, and it's not going to happen just by getting a raise or a job at a fan company or the next fan company. So, and that takes a little bit of a longer work, a deeper kind of work, and that's why I took on clinical psych, and I'm going to dive into being a psychologist.
And what role does art play in your life right now?
um Repeat that, Shota. Art.
Art, yes.
Yeah, so art, I think, brings in a lot of presence. It sits, it sort of connects the unspoken duality in life, and um, it helps me reconnect with parts that I don't want to share with other people, and the shadows and aspirations. It has helped me heal. It has helped me find more meaning. For instance, even in my hospice work for the last 1 year, 1+ year now, I worked with seniors in memory clinic and art groups, and it can be a very defining tool, that that creates conversations and connects community in ways that language doesn't, because language can be sometimes limiting and abrasive, whereas art can be more meaningful in the sense like it connects us. It's less conflicting.
Okay, excellent.
Mhm.
Does anybody have any questions to Pri? Actually, you are. We have Christine here, who's in staging, and what experience? Do you have some experience in art placement as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the art or oversized scale art is really improved the place a lot. Yeah, it's just about that a good quality for sure. Like an artist, the original art is so different from all the art you could get from online CB2. Even though it's designers, they are not like original pieces. So I
Oh
appreciate all
yeah,
the original. Yeah.
yeah, I love that. input. I think art is like a good conversation. Anybody who witnesses it and engages in it becomes part of it, and then it's an ongoing story. I'm interested in stories in general, in depth psychology, symbols and archetypes, and there's a lot of symbolism in art that carries on, which is beyond decoration. For instance, I feel like besides improving a space, art can really, change how a person perceives a space, like give more meaning, and in Viktor Frankl's words, or I'm kind of interested in logotherapy. I think meaning makes it easier to transcend life and makes us more humane. So I lean towards meaning making.
Incredible. And then you worked for companies like Meta and OpenAI and Uber and Yahoo, right? What was your experience like working for these companies?
I think it set me up for success for sure. OpenAI, I was the second recruiter there, second outbound recruiter. And I didn't know how big it was going to go until they released ChatGPT 4. I met incredible leaders. My manager at Meta that I worked with for 6 years, I followed her at OpenAI. And she asked me to find my voice, and that sort of started my deeper work. And I didn't know what it meant. I thought being loud in the meeting room was, finding our voice, and our voices are my personal authentic self and alignment. But then I got to OpenAI and I felt like my daughter was in 11th grade and I felt like who's going to launch her, you know? So I had to let
Right.
go of OpenAI because I lived in San Jose and she was there. I mean, they're extremely smart people, but I think I just moved from like chasing shiny bling stuff to more meaning making somehow.
Yeah, wow.
And yeah.
That's incredible. Like from OpenAI to art. And the art is incredible. So
Yeah. I mean,
that's
I think OpenAI enabled me to do this because I can. OpenAI and Meta, all these experiences gave me the confidence to let go.
right.
Yeah. And I felt like my career had peaked, and what else? Where else would I go after OpenAI? I'd interviewed at Anthropic, and that didn't come through, and I was like, okay, what else can I do? I'm motivated by personal growth and, challenges in art. My mom makes a lot of art and she's an art teacher, and she told me I couldn't be an artist. So I decided to take it on, Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting. Oh, yeah.
So thank you for your introduction, and your journey is amazing. I completely agree that art takes the human five senses that we have, and you're able to express your humanity and personality in ways that no other machine could. So I really
Yeah.
appreciated your thought-provoking comments there. My question is on the next generation. Thinking about
Hmm.
your daughter, the next generation in general,
Yeah.
how do they find meaning, more meaning, and in their talent, and how do they express their talent better than they can, uh, better than
Yeah.
we've done
Yeah.
in our generation? I don't know.
Yeah. Great question. I think like I think a lot about transgenerational stuff. Like my mom made her living teaching art, but I think people don't find meaning unless they've reached a certain level of security. Like it's a privilege, to dive into meaning making in the Bay Area. You have to reach a certain level of security, both emotionally and financially, and have a little bit of suffering somehow. When your cup of suffering has like reached a certain level, then you're like, okay, what does it mean? Is there more in life? Like, am I just supposed to sit on 85 and like, wait for OpenAI to go public? Is there more in the news? Like, is the September IPO going to happen, or what is, like, for instance, when I volunteered at hospice, it really came through for me because my first patient, I don't know how did it happen, was a Holocaust survivor. And he passed on in January, on January 22nd. I was with him, which is a miracle because how am I supposed to be with him, Mr. Safran? And he was in Germany for 4 years, from age 14 till 18. And he told me he never identified as a, like if you compare Viktor Frankl and Mr. Safran's life, Mr. Safran never told me he was a, Holocaust survivor. I found out about him through his family and through his Wikipedia page. So I think a little bit of suffering and some emotional development helps, and a lot of therapy. For the next generation kids, it'll be hard. Like my daughter Ubers and drives a Tesla, So, but I think meaning making happens when something hard happens, that we don't understand.